So I've been using iOS 15 for a whole 2 weeks now, and here is my full review. So I did make a video covering my favorite features from iOS 15 about a week ago, which I'll leave a card to right up here, I think it is. But anyways, my top favorite features in that video were notifications, focus modes, weather, live text, Safari, and one last thing. I think I'll leave it right here. It is hard to tell the difference from iOS 14 and iOS 15 from just a standstill point of view, but what I did notice was that in apps like Settings, for example, these buttons, I don't know what you call them, but just all this stuff, and buttons like these, or touch points, whatever you call them, they're a bit less wide, but they are a bit taller, so I guess that does help with tapping them better. There are more little quirks like this that you will notice along the way. For example, I think there's a different color for a category in screen time. So Apple did make a lot of tiny little refinements like these. But one thing that I do hate about iOS 15 is the wallpaper. For instance, you only get one wallpaper. The iOS 13 wallpapers are gone. Those were quite goated. But the iOS 15 one is just like, ugh. I feel like they took the iOS 14 default red and orange wallpaper and the default green and blue wallpaper, mixed them together, and they're like, there you go, iOS 15 wallpaper. I feel like I'm one of the only people who hates it. Like, for the past couple of years, we have been getting pretty good wallpapers, and this one just seems like they didn't even try it all. But for me, the few things that have made the biggest difference across day-to-day use are Safari, weather, and notifications. Obviously, this does vary by your phone usage, what you do on your phone, but personally, I check the weather app at least, 30 times a day, and the changes that did arrive in the weather app are really good ones that I can use and actually benefit from every single day. For example, there's an air quality index no matter where you are now. Before, I think it was only in bigger cities, and they finally did also build weather into maps, so wherever you drop a pin, it can give you the weather and the air quality at that given location. But it's also helped me learn some things. Like, for example, I didn't know what pressure was and what was low or high pressure, but now I guess I kind of know. For notifications, I just like that it's a new design. I originally didn't really like it because it was kind of less information sometimes, but it's grown on me, and I like that it's a bit more compact, yet still retaining some more information. And Safari, I actually like the new tab bar and stuff. Sure, it took some getting used to at the start, but having it on the bottom is honestly really convenient. The iPhone gestures being built into Safari are honestly very useful. And for me, live text and visual lookup don't really matter. I think that it might matter more during school. I highly doubt that visual lookup will ever be useful to me though, as well as a bunch of smaller other refinements. I don't even use Apple Maps, so I don't really care about the enhanced stuff there. Now, moving on, performance has not changed at all. Now, I'm not a phone gamer by any means. I do most of my gaming on an Xbox, but just overall day-to-day use and just scrolling through the UI and just swiping around, using a phone as a phone, nothing has really changed for me. It's just been the same performance. If it has gotten slower or faster, I haven't noticed it, so definitely nothing to worry about there. But just do note that I am using an iPhone XS Max, so this is an A12 iPhone, gets all the new features with iOS 15, but could also be why I haven't seen any performance decreases. If you are installing this on an older iPhone, you might see a decrease. But with a beta, you're probably asking the question, what about bugs? Yeah, pesky old bugs. And for me, I haven't really had that much. And what I have been just basically minor bugs, except for one. So there was one major bug that actually caused me to nearly call 911. And believe it or not, it was with Siri. Who would have known? So this is what happened. I was outside somewhere with no Wi-Fi, and I was thinking, well, why not test what Siri can do on device? Because with iOS 15, if you do have an A12 iPhone or later, a number of things can be done on device that don't require an internet connection. So stuff like alarms or opening apps. Anyways, I held the power button to activate Siri, and it didn't activate. Instead, my screen froze, and the battery indicator and the time all turned white, blended in with the white background of Settings, which was the app I was in. And I just couldn't interact with the phone. Tapped the screen, nothing was happening, pressed the power button a couple of times. Then all of a sudden, it completely unfroze, somehow went into emergency SOS, and then guided access, because I don't know how it sends like 10 clicks of the power button, which is what it would need, because it's 3 for guided access, 5 for emergency SOS. Anyways, I had to cancel guided access and then cancel emergency SOS at like 1 second, and then the phone was back to normal. Anyways, I got home and I tried activating Siri with Wi-Fi in the settings app to see if the battery indicator and stuff glitches white again, and it didn't glitch white. But aside from that, really no bugs, just a couple minor ones with maybe some stuff just glitching. I think I had one where the Face ID and passcode thing was just not aligned, but nothing else to worry about. Definitely no phone getting bricked, it's still running perfectly fine. Now that leaves 2 questions. One of them is, should I get the iOS 15 beta? And 2 is, was iOS 15 a good upgrade? Is it worth the upgrade? And the thing is, both of them are really subjective. So should you download the beta? It's really up to you. First off, do you have an iPhone that does support the beta? Also, if you are going to download it, I did make a video on how to download it right up here. But is it a good upgrade? And that just depends on what your expectations were. I did make a video, I'll leave it right up here, on what to expect from iOS 15, and there was a handful of stuff that we didn't get, like a redesigned control center, more apps on the dock, a battery indicator inside the battery icon, native themes. So yeah, a lot of stuff that we didn't get. But for what we did get, I'm happy with it. It's already made a noticeable difference, and I think that that's what Apple's trying to do. They want it to be a difference that you're going to notice and you're going to appreciate. But at the same time, they don't want it to go so far from what the users know as iOS. They don't want it to be this huge thing that completely redesigns it and you're now unfamiliar with it. They want it to feel homey. They want it to feel familiar, yet they also want to give you some pretty good upgrades. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm planning on getting the iPadOS 15 hands-on video and the Windows 11 review out next week. So definitely subscribe to stay tuned for that down below, youtube.com/TeichTech. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.